Hello and good day to you. Today's video we'll be making a red velvet cake. To make our red velvet cake, we'll need dark brown sugar. You can use white if you want to, but I'll be using dark brown sugar today. Soft brown. You can use buttermilk or evaporated milk. Food coloring, red, I'll be using paste, food coloring. Using half salted and half unsalted, so that I'll get 250 grams from them, but the butter is 250 grams I'll be using. And the remaining one, we'll use it to mix this for the frosting. We'll use to mix the soft cheese and icing sugar. Put this aside first. We need 3 fresh eggs, raw eggs, self-raising flour. If you don't have self-raising flour, you can use plain flour, and you can use bicarbonate of soda and baking soda. You have to use both, but I'll use just one. You need cocoa powder. You also need white wine vinegar. If you don't have this, you can omit it. I'm omitting this, so I'll put it aside. Let me put it again so that you see it. You can use it if you have it, and also you can omit it. So I'll omit it. And for the frosting, we'll use soft cheese, and we'll use powdered icing and a little of unsalted butter. If you don't have salted butter, you can use unsalted butter. I'm just one mixing both butters together. For the equipment, we'll use a mixing bowl, electric mixing bowl. That is for the mixer over there. I'm just going to go closer to it so that I see it. That's for this mixer. We need electric mixing bowl. So I'm going to use the beater. The hook I'm using is a beater. We need a sieve to sieve the flour. We need spatula. When we are taking our mixture off the bowl, we need it totally clean, and also stirring to the bottom of the bowl to make sure our mixture mixes properly. Okay, we need this for the scale. So we need a scale to weigh our ingredients, and just spoon to scoop flour into. It's not really necessary just to scoop some of the dried ingredients into the mixing bowl while it's mixing. And I think this last one we need. Okay, no, this is not the last one. We need oven. Oven is the last. We need oven, and we need baking pan. I'm just using a round baking pan, though it has an embossed design on it, so that when you can have the heart shape. But this is not really necessary or compulsory. I just don't have. I can't find the bottom plate for this one, because it came with different bottom plates. That's a different base plate. I don't know where I kept the other one. That is the plain one. I don't know where I kept it. So since this is February, I said, okay, why not just use the heart one? We have lamp one and others, so I just said, okay, let me just use the heart one, since I don't know where I kept that other one. I must have mixed it to other pans. But that's aside. That's a spring form pan, and it can separate. That means it separates from the base, can separate from the sides. But this is not compulsory. You can use any pan you have. I was even planning I'm using, this was what I was planning on using to bake it. I think I should use this, but it's going to be too small. Okay, I was planning on using this. This is a ceramic pot. That's for my electric slow cooker. I was planning on using it to bake it. It's about this ceramic pot is for the slow cooker of 1.5 liters. So I was planning on using the ceramic pot to bake it. It's really nice for casserole. I just had the last option of changing to this. All right. So before we start, I'm just going to put the oven on. It's to be on 150 middle layer of the oven, because we want it to cook for longer and we don't want it to get burnt. So I prefer using 150 degrees. An electric oven, it's an electric oven or electric cooker, so 150 degree. So I don't know the equivalent in gas, but if you check, if you search the web, you'll be able to see the equivalent for that. But 150, because I don't want it to get burnt. So I'll just take this unit out of the and before I fix the bowl, I'm going to fix the beater, and then I'll fix the bowl. I'll mix the butter and half of the salted. As I said earlier, you can use unsalted or true, but I'm just going to mix half salted and half unsalted. That's about 250 grams of butter. I'm supposed to open it. I don't sorry. I just for the sugar, so that it comes. I'm using 250 grams of sugar, so okay. You can use less if you want to. I think I should use less since I'm using icing sugar. I'm going to use icing sugar. Okay, I'm going to use less for the sugar. I planned 250, but I just changed my mind now. I'm going to use less. I'm going to make it 200 grams. Doing that because we're going to do cream frost. We're going to do cream cheese frosting, and I'll be using icing sugar, and I'm trying to reduce the sugar quantity, so I'm going to use them. Let's make it just 200 grams of sugar. Okay, so 199. 199 is all right. No, I said 200. Let me make it 200. Okay, exactly 200. That's great. So the soft brown sugar, we've just measured it and it's 200 grams. I'm going to put it. I was supposed to put the sugar before the butter. So just put that. And put it on low. Why I wanted to put the sugar before the butter is because of the pan. I don't want the butter to be hidden at the bottom instead of it mixing, but I'll mix it properly to make sure. So I'll just leave it. I'll be using 500 grams of flour, so I'll have to see 500 grams of flour while it's mixing. So we have 500 grams of flour here, and while it is still mixing, getting ready, I'll be doing the others. So just move that aside and we'll put it on to mix. That's the only thing we're saving now. So I'll bring the pan and start getting my pan ready. Just put a little of the unsalted butter. And I'm going to rub it on the pan. just put a little bit of flour in the pan and dust it all around to get this. You put a little bit of flour and then you make sure, just tap it all around to make sure it covers the bowl and the excess taps off. This helps to release the cake. If you don't have grease-proof paper, it helps to release your cake from the tin. The cake won't get bounced, won't get stuck to the tin or the pan. Because when you bake and it gets stuck, as you're removing it, half of the cake comes up and the other is being stuck to the pan. You don't want that. So that's why we have to do that. I'm just going to cover this a little bit here. And then we just tap. Just getting our pan ready. I'll tap the excess off. Just going to open it and with a spatula just to make sure it's mixing properly. So bring in our flour. You can split it in half, but I'm not going to do that. And mix half and you mix the other half. I'm just going to mix it straight. With a spoon, I'm going to take cocoa powder. Going to add 2 spoons of cocoa powder. Oh, where's my sieve? I forgot that. Sieve it goes. Two teaspoons. I'm not making it too heat. Just putting just not that level, not that heat, just average. So I'm going to just stir it with the spoon. You can use a dry whisk for this, just to make sure it mixes properly. So I'm going to bring in our mixer. We need to break the eggs, put them one after the other. That's because I'll be able to monitor anyone that is spoiled and prevent it from being mixed with the others. Now add it gradually. You can mix. You can mix the coloring and the milk together. If you have, but you can mix them both together if you want to. But I'm not going to. I'm going to mix them directly in there. And the milk. Just added half of the milk. I want to make sure it's mixing properly. I'll add the flour. Sorry, I'll add the coloring now. Just a teaspoon. I want it to vary. If you don't have coloring, you can use beetroot juice. Oh, this one can't get in. This one can't go in. So I'm just not a full teaspoon. I'll just add it until I have the desired color I want it to be. little bit of the flour now, gradually, using my spoon. Just add it to the side. And remember, I left half of the milk. That's because as it's getting hard, I'll use the milk to lighten it. Just going to clean my spoon lightly with the spatula. Just trying to clean the coloring off the spoon. You know, when I dipped it into the coloring, see, I have some stuck. I don't want it wasted. So I'll just stir the mixture a bit just to make sure that it's mixing properly. That's to the bottom of the pan. Anyone on the side, I'm going to drip them down. Flour now. Just going to stir it to make sure that the flour mixes too. If you want the red coloring to be very red, you can add more into it. I think this a bit. This is not too red, not too dark. If I want to, we can still add more to it. So I'll need another spoon. I want it to be a bit dark. So I'll need another spoon and just scoop. I'm adding another spoonful of color. So that means I've added 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. That means I've added 2 teaspoons of the coloring. Right, let me mix and see. It's red now. Still a bit bright, so I'm going to add another one and I'll make it 2 and almost a leveled spoon of coloring. I think this is enough. Wow. So right now, but I want to add something more. I want to add cocoa powder. So I'm going to just add a little bit of so I'm going to add 2 spoons of sieved cocoa powder. So that's about 3 spoons of cocoa powder. I'm using tablespoon now, so 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder plus 2 other teaspoons of cocoa powder. That's about 3. So that's about 3. That's 3 full spoons. 3 dessert spoons. 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder plus 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder and 2 dessert spoons of cocoa powder or eating spoon of cocoa powder. That's about 3 heaped spoon, because the other one I did it much. So I'm going to mix it. I'm using a low setting. I'm using a low setting because I want it to be as if it's folding the flour, the technique of folding. Here we go. Going to mix it and then we'll try. I'm just going to mix. There's a little one here. I don't want it falling into the engine of the machine. So with this spatula, I'm just going to scrape the mixture of the hook. And we have our pan here. It's done. We've already gotten our pan ready. So what I'm going to do now is just to scoop and fill our pan with here we have our cake ready. I'm going to put it in the oven now and check it in 45 minutes. I'm going to check it. Remember, the oven is 150 degrees Celsius. It's an electric oven or electric cooker with oven. So you have the equivalent. I'll try and get the equivalent so that I'll be mentioning it when I'm doing this. So here we have our red velvet cake. It's on the cooling rack. Just take a look close. So here we have our red velvet cake. It's already cooked and it's on the cooling rack. Just take a look. If you notice, it's a bit dark red. That's because the cocoa powder did a little effect on it. You know, when I was mixing, the coloring was bright. I had to add more cocoa powder to darken it so that it's a bit dark, and it has. So we're going to start mixing for the icing sugar, and we're going to mix for the icing sugar. For that, I'll just move the cake onto this plate. You can use a cake board, just move it on it. You can use a plate if you want to. This is just this plate I'm using is for a microwave. It's a microwavable plate. Just take the camera so that you see closely. It's for the microwave. I don't use it anymore for my microwave because I have another one. So it it has feet. You can see feet. So I'm just trying to. Okay, so it's a nice plate to work on, and you can lift your cake and put it on. You can even use it on the table if you don't have a cake saver or a cake stand. Also, for the cake, some people do trim the top, but it's a home cake. I want to eat everything. If I'm doing it for a friend or so, I'll trim the top and make it flat leveled and so. But I'm going to eat it, and I don't want what I want everything in it. Yeah. So let's start mixing. I'll put it aside. I already have a palette knife. You can use a straight one or you can use an angled one. It all depends on which one you desire. We have our spatula and we need our beater for the mixing bowl, and as usual our electric mixer. If you want to, you can measure your flour. If you want to, you can measure the icing sugar. This time I'm not going to. Should I measure? Let's measure so that I know the quantity I'm using. Okay, so what I do now, instead I'll put this bowl up because I've already put icing in this bowl. So I'm going to put my mixing bowl and sieve it straight down. So now I have to set my scale with the mixing bowl in that, and it's on 0 now. I know the quantity. I don't want to use much. I'm going to make it very light icing. And I'm going to sieve. I discovered that when I heat it, it's powdery. It starts filling everywhere with white dust. So I got a little technique of hitting the spoon on it. I'm being gentle. So, or you can use a spoon and just mix it in the sieve, and then it will feel the you see that sieving instead of hitting. It's creating dust. I'm just going to do that and be fast before my scale resets. So that's let me see, 299. So that's 295 grams of icing sugar. Add this together. Going to put this on just 295 grams of icing sugar. So and we have the butter here. I'm going to place it and see 129 grams of butter. I think I should reduce the butter just a little. Alright, I'm going to reduce the butter. So I'm using 59 grams of butter. That's it. I'll just put it inside. And the sauce spread, and the cheese spread, I'm just going to put half of it. I'll tell you the grams just now. The cheese spread is 200 grams, so I'm going to put half, that is 100 grams of cheese spread, soft cheese, sorry. Going to set the machine, just put it up. And set it on 1-2 minutes. So it's smooth. We can bring in our cake and then ice it. Using our spatula, just going to clean. Can see it's smooth and okay, lumps. If you take a little of the icing, you can see that it's not pouring. It's not too stiff, it's not too pouring. It's just right. It's not thick like a fondant icing, and it's not pouring or running. It's not of a running consistency, as if you want to create runouts. It's just nice to cover our cake. It's of if you can see that it's dripping. It's not too stiff. You can make soft peaks, so that's what we want. Just going to clean it out. And here we have it. Although it's small, but it's enough for what we have. I don't want too much sugar, but if you want, you can make whatever. You can put whatever sugar you desire to put, the quantity you desire to put. Remember, it's your cake and you are the designer. So taking a spatula, I'm using the angled one. Just want to put a little on top. Take the buttercream or the cream cheese, and we just over it. I'm doing this because it's a home cake and I don't want to go through too much stress. I'm not demonstrating professionalism. I'm just doing a quick cake to celebrate February birthdays. So I'm going to scrape the remainder with the, let me put it this way before I soil my cake. I'm going to scrape the remainder out and try and put it. If you want to add sprinkles to it, you can. I'm not going to add any sprinkle. I'm just going to leave it like so. Because I'm going to eat it and I don't like sprinkles on. I like chocolate sprinkles, but I don't like those other colorful ones. And I don't have any chocolate ones with me now. And I can't start making one now. So you can do your cake how you want it to be. Just trying to create a nice pattern on it. Some people do add some red sprinkles on it. That's sometimes from even top of the cake. They just sprinkle it on it so that it adds some red effect to it. But I'm not going to bother with that. So I'm going to take it to a work surface where we can have a high contrast and you'll be able to see the cake properly. So here's our red velvet cake to celebrate February birthdays. We wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. We celebrate you, your special friend. We wish you. We wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. Birthday to you. We celebrate you, your special friend. That's why we wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday, February babies. We wish you a happy birthday and many more years to come. From your friend, Crafters TV. So here's our red velvet cake, and you can see that I've already cut it to see, so that you can see how it is. Place it. So here's our red velvet cake to celebrate February babies, or birthdays in February. I always say February babies because. So here's the red velvet cake to celebrate birthdays in February. I was trying to cut a slice here. So here's our red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting to celebrate birthdays in February.